Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever you are and wherever you are. Today is 7th of June 2026. A lot been gone around, and I have not been posted a video for quite some time. But anyway, normally when I post a video is I've got something new from my mail, or I got something uh, interesting that I need to talk about. So today is one of those days that I've got brand new notes. One from uh, one of the auction, and there's one from the dealer. Of course, this is considered as a, to some of you, this news could be possibly would say uh, old news, but anyway, I just recently got it. When it was released, it was considered really hot item, like a hot sheet of newspaper coming out. It's relatively expensive at that time that I wanted to buy, especially during the show, convention, and so forth, numismatic fairs. They were really expensive. For a set, they will cost probably at that time of 400 to 500 ringgit. That's about 100 um, 110 to $120 in USD, United States dollar. So they're relatively considerably expensive. But a lot of people didn't know that the notes that, of course, let me reiterate it. The notes at the bottom here, which is glaring with uh, uh, light, I would say. Later we'll go through on detail. Is these are Bhutan, Kingdom of Bhutan. The new banknote was, to me, I think it's really one of the first series notes of the country that I've got as a commemorative note in a set series of their banknotes, which is relatively, I would say, surprised to get it from Bhutan in a way that they a commemorative banknote issuing as like a commodity set. But it's a great way. But I didn't realize it after going through Bhutan's currency exchange rate and so forth. I didn't realize, but probably those who are living in India would know. Bhutan's currency, the Nyultrum, if I pronounce it correctly, the Nyultrum, uh, is pegged to the Indian rupee. So one Indian rupee is equivalent to one uh, a Nyultrum, so to speak. So yeah, so they're 1 to 1. So the question arises, what I was looking for at that time is how much does the face value of the Bhutan currency is towards other currency today. You know, it's an exotic country. It's a country that probably inspires Shangri-La. So it's a mystique, exotic country. So you don't see their currency every day, or even in a global competitive market currency war exchange, compare like US dollar against yuan, against yen, against British pound sterling, and euro, blah blah blah. That you do trading, you with currency exchange. These are the major ones, but you'd rarely see this type of notes go into those kind of markets. They're normally just used for the sake of exchange commodities for something they need. So a country that don't really rely on economy really badly is the only country that measure their economy through the happiness of the people. The higher the percentage of the happiness, the better the economy in Bhutan is. And it's the only country that is very quite, I would say, opposite polarization since the 19th century, where people tried to dispose a monarch to become a republic, to put the power or limit the power of the king or queen or emperor empress to the constitution. Bhutan works the other way around. Everybody wants absolute monarchy in the country, but the king reluctant to be an absolute monarchy and demand the people to put a constitution and election in the country. That is the command and decree of His Majesty the King. It works really different in that country's sense. Is the country has lacks of military, practically it doesn't need to have military. It is defense wise. It lives in the Himalaya zones, so relatively speaking, they're mountainous areas. So it's pretty darn safe, I would say. Pretty darn safe. Yeah. So I was searching for it and I realized that the value of this currency in Bhutan is equivalent to Indian rupees. So normally when I look at it, their face value is tremendously small. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, 100 plus 500 plus 1,000, that 1,600 Indian rupees, probably about 150 ringgit, if I'm not mistaken, out of my mind. So they're really relatively cheap. But when you know that is the face value, and then when people, the traders, when they come and then they try to sell you because it's a hot new banknotes around 500 ringgit, that's overpriced, darn overpriced, and that is one of the reasons why I withhold buying these notes until now. The price has already cooled down. The price has already gone down. Of course, obviously, you won't find the notes that in this type of notes in a good numbers or solid numbers of eight or binary numbers and blah blah blah, or those that I don't really uh, partake in those collections unless I was very lucky, which I did. Got very lucky for one of my Japanese yen, 1,000 yen, with binary numbers. So it was pure luck. I got it on face value price and I treat it as investment. So mostly those kind of things, fancy numbers, they are purely instrumental for investors. If you are investors trying to make a profit in a relatively good timing, probably in 5 or 10 years or less, but no faster than less than 1 year, of course. Fancy number is one of the ways of investing it. So that's why I keep it away from there. I move on to general circulation numbers that are quite normal numbers. So anyway, I've got this from my dealer today, and I got that one from my mail, the auction in Europe. So I was pretty lucky. I got them in a very good price. So relative, I got that one in a very good price. So yeah, I'll go through one by one anyway. So I get detailed look, first review, first impression from me, myself. So yeah, here we go. Oh, sidebar. A little bit different or sidetrack a bit. How could I say? The world is going down, even down the hill, rolling down the hill as usual. The bright side is FIFA is coming very soon, in 1 or 2 weeks' time. FIFA World, FIFA World Cup. But sadly, this year's FIFA World Cup has to host in the United States of America, is in the U.S. continent. We, as for me, we are on the other side of the world. You see, which is totally the other side of the world. If there's morning in America, it's nighttime here. So when the World Cup is holding that at evening, we are going to start work of the day. So relatively, a lot of people don't fancy that either. So it's another tough day, tough times for this World Cup to watch, and so forth. And then of course, being in America, tickets are going to be scalped very easily. Some of them I see the news that reported the price of it is tens and thousands and probably around $250,000 for a VVIP pass of a good seat that has already been scalped. Yeah, pretty much if you ask me, going to the stadium and watching the United States is dumb. It's a waste of money. Better off just watching games live if you really want to have the experience. Go to Mexico. Go to Canada. They have anti-scalping regulation. So the price that you buy for the ticket is the price that is properly set from the beginning. There's no increase or decrease in price. But in America, fortunately, very sadly, I would say, yeah, they're gonna scalp really good. So don't. Uh, for those who are in budget wise, forget about United States games. Go to Mexico. Go to Canada. Those are still in the best budget price if you're looking for second-hand resale of the tickets. Some people might cancel, they can't go, unfortunately. So yeah, they have to resell it in the same price. So okay, sidetrack is there, done. Politically, it's trash. Everywhere is trash. We're looking at the dark ages coming real soon. So yeah, so sit tight, let's have fun. So right now, let's get to the banknote. First note I want to introduce, which is pretty obvious, this one. Now, this note, I got it from the auction for a price of about uh, for 500 ringgit. It's about 400 to 500 ringgit. Actual value for each condition probably would be about 600 US dollar. According to the book, it's $600 US dollars for for its condition. So if you ask me, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2,000 plus 30%. It's hovering around 2,800 to 3,000 ringgit. So I got this one really lucky for this note. Really lucky. I got this one. Condition wise, I would love it to be better, but any better than this is probably uh, really expensive because I saw the one that is rated the price for extremely fine condition. Those are already looking at uh, about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 15 to 16,000 ringgit of price range. Really hard to find in good condition, but probably this one is a fair bit better, hovering around 3,000. So yeah, this is Bank of China, issued during the 1st of October 1917, just a couple of years after the fall of the Qing Empire and the founding of the Republic of China. At that time, one of the biggest banks that produced banknotes and in charge of financial instrument during the early days of the Republic of China is Bank of China. And the other one is the Bank of Communication. Then we have the Central Bank of China. These are the three major banks across China, governs the entire China's financial instruments. Of course, as I mentioned before, China was quite segregated, decentralized, extremely decentralized. So these notes may not reach to certain areas of China. As you know, China is a very big country. Even for that time, it's too large span of its land. So they created private banks. So areas that are controlled by the private banks, they just prove that the bank has the reserve, a proper asset, report to the central bank in China by the government, to the government, I would say, and then approve similar to what the United States did, to be honest. When they started to, before they start to centralize it into reserve, Federal Reserve notes appearing in the market. But before that, they have all these other kind of reserve. They have private banks. Before the private banks was abolished, that sort of things. Similar case in China, but they go parallel and supposed to be equivalent. Okay, equivalent to the national currency. So for this note, this specifically issued in Harbin. And if you notice here, this dark color shade and the dark color shade here, that is actually overprint stamp. There are actually written words here for the condition of the note exchange from local currency to equivalent to the national currency value and so forth. This is able to change, blah blah blah, something like that. But it is cancelled because it is not valid. So this note was instrumentally used in different way, and it's written here. This note is actually 10 cent, okay, which is in English. but it's also equivalent to 1jiao or 1jiao in Chinese. So 10 cent is equivalent to 1jiao. Okay, so that is what it means. But in front of the Chinese one is written here 1jiao, and the back is 10 cent. So there was some confusion in this situation, this note, but nevertheless, this note is quite difficult to find. It's one of those unique notes that is quite rare in the market and so forth. A good condition of this note probably will fetch even great value, but I have not seen it in the auction house nor in eBay. Even if you find it eBay is also in the condition not so great, but yeah. Of course, this has multiple branches, which they overprint here: Harbin, Manchuria, and other etc. etc. There are many variations of this type of notes. One of the Kalgan, which is one of the expensive ones, for same condition, that one is worth already tens of thousands of ringgit. This is one of the so-called second of the cheapest ones for 600 US dollar, and the book price, of course the book price is very old. Today is probably will go about 1,000 or 1,200 US dollar for that condition price. But yeah, this note is still hold on really nicely. Color wise is still there. Of course there's a lot of fold. Wear and tear is really heavy, I would say, especially like this line here is really heavy. But anyway, everything is still legible, pieces are still intact, there's no major tear of the note. See under the light, yep, no major tear, but heavily used, heavily fold, no tear of pieces. Probably there's some tearing here because in this area, you see this bright area, that is already the layer of the banknote peel off of the wear and tear, especially here. We always expect this area, center area here, to have a heavy fall and heavy damage. But looking at this current condition of this note, is still really good. I would say. Fine to below fine condition. Won't go any like very fine condition. Definitely not. Should be around fine to very fine, average fine to a low fine condition. So probably a 10 to 15 range if you look at the grading scale. But definitely it will be high, very good. I would say this will be very considered. Guarantee is high, very good. Not gonna be go lower than that. So yeah, Bank of China, 10 cent or 1jiao, printed in Harbin, on the 1st of October 1917. Good. Oh, there we go. And the color is orange. It's supposed to be a bright orange, but because of the tear and wear, it becomes dark orange. It's supposed to be bright orange, so it becomes dark orange. Next, a bit modern time would be this Bhutan banknote. So let's go through the smallest denomination then to the largest denomination. This is 100 Nyultrum, all polymer, all plastic, and again, I just say again, I've never seen a polymer banknote issued 3 sets, almost full set of the denominations, as a commemorative bank. Normally people issue commemorative banknote is one certain denomination, voila, is that. The other denomination will not be used for commemorative, it will be still used for general circulation, normal banknote. But Bhutan took it another different level, and they used all the denomination 100, 500, and 1000 Nyultrum to be their commemorative banknote. And in a way that it is on the period when it was released for the public use. Again, these notes are general circulation, it's not for collection only, it's also used by their citizens. Looking at how the number is running, is very big. So these notes are used widely, and having a citizen at that period of time using all denominations from the biggest one to the smallest one, all polymer, and they're thinking uh, on focusing on what is this note all about, and knowing the note is about the commemorative for the founding or the birth anniversary of their king. I did put out the title of the name in my short video clip, so you can catch that details over there. So basically, a celebration of I think 70 years anniversary of the birth of the king. I think it's the first king, which is I believe it's this one. But anyway, I really like the design for the banknote in Bhutan. It shows a lot of the very Asian things, the Oriental design patterns should have. If you ask me if China today is still imperial or still has a monarch under constitutional monarch, perhaps, I believe the notes will look something like this gorgeous, with traditional patterns of the Chinese motifs across the note and etc. Probably more detail of it, more Chinese looking, but more traditional look. And but this one's already hit the ballpark. Really, really beautiful. And look at the polymer behind that image here. Now I always say that this king is one of the most handsome king uh, in the modern history. Okay, when king, queen come and go, they look quite like people say the typical blue blood royal family. They're inbred until the looks is so ugly and so forth. Won't say who, won't say what, but they all have their own uh, family history criteria. But when you look at personally looking at the king of Bhutan, he looks handsome, truly, really prince. Like a dreamy prince, real royalty prince. Having a royal family and governing a country and so forth. It's really, really magical. And looking at the portrait, especially the window one, it really makes him look really dashing and handsome. I would call this the handsome prince, but actually, right now he's the king. He has a son, and I would dare to say is the queen of Bhutan is also really beautiful lady. Both of them are when they took a portrait of their wedding, they really look the handsome prince and the beautiful princess, and kind of magical. If you ask me, it's really magical. If you want to look at the pictures, go to Wikipedia, go to Google it. You'll find out the queen of Bhutan and the king of Bhutan one day got married. Really handsome prince, like a prince-like prince, and really princess look from Her Majesty too, the queen. Really magical, a dream monarch couple that should look like any fairy tale book. That's the word I was trying to say. They look really identical to what fairy tales describe. A handsome prince and a beautiful princess. And Bhutan kind of nailed that, to be honest. So in this banknote, with his portrait in it like this, makes him look really dashing, really handsome. I would say this is the current king. And behind is I like this the buildings. If I'm not mistaken, it's written here, Tashincho Jeong. Sorry if my apologies if I jargon the word out there, because I don't know how to read and pronounce Bhutan word very well. But yeah, this is 100 Nyultrum, and the font they use in English, like the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, really beautiful. I think it's inspired like what the banknote from Bank of England did. So I think Bhutan got inspired from Bank of England. So they did something like this. Even the Egyptians polymer note that for the 10 pound and also the 20 Egyptian pound, They did the same thing, but if you look closely on those two banknotes, especially the £10, they look very identical to the £10 of United Kingdom. Really exact copy duplicate. That's some sidetrack a bit from there. So yeah, this is the 100 Nyultrum. Really beautiful color. I really like this color. Beautiful. Let's see. The next one is the higher denomination, the 500 Nyultrum, and this is where it becomes beautiful. Look at that. Can you see it? I'll put it in the center of the video. Look at that. Hologram, 500 Nyultrum at the bottom in your language, and then there's a smaller English microprint, and all the way to the top, the dragon. Remarkable piece. Beautiful. Same window concept, the current king's portrait. As you can see, the current king's portrait right here. And then the window here, 500. You can see this window. Everything in the front, of course, same as all the content of their note, is written in their own native language. Okay. Purple majority color. This is I think it's the late king, the current king's father, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about Bhutan. I just got this note, so try to find out the mystery. Who is this person? Who is that person? Is the base part of the game for me. I haven't looked into it. This is my first review, first look impression of the note, and to me, I'm really impressed. I really is impressed. This is a side view of this. Even side view looks really nice. You know, with all the diamond. I'm just thinking that wow, this could be the possible chance. Could be China banknote if they were emperor today. It would look something like that. It was fantastic. To be honest, it would look really fantastic if the emperor of China banknote will implement something like this. It will be great and beautiful. I really like this one. This hologram here is really striking. It strikes out really nice. That's the best part of it. And it's a security feature, of course. The back reverse of the 500 Nyultrum. Another building, the seal of the government or the seal of the bank. I'm not too sure about it. Written in the native language of 500 and the Latin American and in Latin Arab numerate 500. In English, you can read 500 Nyultrum. Palace is Punakatong. Punakatong is a palace or fortress or temple. I'm not too sure this word. Gotta find out that. So in the motif across the entire banknote, and I noticed that there's an insect here. I think probably native to Bhutan. So yeah, and then the hologram continues at the back too, with the dragon. Really beautiful. I really like this one. Other than the window that a handsome king, so a portrait right here, but having a dragon in it is also fabulous. The detail of it, the holographic detail is really nice. I really like. Can't stop looking at it, or especially when they change colors. Really nice security feature. One of the best holographic security feature on any banknote to date, I would say, seen. Would it be say that better one of the to date the better polymer banknote that I have in my collection? I have to think, because the other one that I like is actually the Libya 20 dinar. That one has to me is one of the best designs. Although it looks simplified design, the motif is in North Africa, but really it strikes me it's because of this. They have much more complexity design of their holographic security feature. Looks really nice on that one. This one is technically last year, but it looks really beautiful. I'm Asian, so pretty much I fall in love with anything that's dragon looking, Asianic look. So I'm a sucker for this kind of notes. Yeah, but whether it beats the Libya's polymer note, We'll see. We'll see. I have to give a think about it. The next one, the largest one, is 1000 Nyultrum. Again, same as the 500, it has a feature, the portrait of the late king. I think believe this is the first king of Bhutan, or in the modern history, or is the grandfather of the current king of Bhutan. Uh, Probably, I believe this is the founder of the kingdom of Bhutan. Okay, who established the kingdom of Bhutan. Same concept. The king's portrait, the current king's window portrait here. Really looks nice in there. I would say, sorry. Really look nice in there. The hologram, continuing from the 500. The dragon, same concept, same pattern, same design. Only difference is bottom here is now written 1000 in Bhutan language. And at the bottom here is a lotus. Lotus is a great significance for Buddhism. Uh, it is a symbol of life and death, I would say, and most importantly, wisdom. So it's a progressive journey of life. True translation of the lotus. So we prize it a lot, especially in Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia countries. So 1000 Nyultrum, color orange. Really like this color. The first one is yellow, and then it changed this color. I was thinking they're going for red, but I did realize that they had another denomination uses red. So I think it's 200, but they think they did discontinue 200. I'm not too sure. Let me know, those of you from India who is a numismatic collectors from India, or Bhutan. I doubt Bhutan, but definitely from Nepali or people from India who deal with this might know the answer than me. But anyway, I always say knowledge sharing is caring. So share the knowledge. Anything I make mistake, bring it up. I will definitely look it up and confirm it, and then I would apologize for my mistake. So yeah. The reverse side, same concept. The only difference among all this is in this side they have dragons as their motif. You see the sky dragons here. This motif with this cloud, traditional oriental design of cloud, and then the snake-like thing. These are actually dragons across the sky. Really remarkable, especially a high denomination. And then they have toucans as their animal symbols here. I don't know whether they're local, but normally I know that if we have toucans, the hornbill birds, they're quite native in Indonesia and Malaysia, especially in Borneo. I don't know why they had this one in Bhutan, especially high altitude areas, countries. These birds are only found in a really tropical jungle climate conditions, wet, humid condition. I don't know why it is in Bhutan. Perhaps anybody of you out there knows about it. Let me know about it. Knowledge is caring. All right, knowledge is power. So yeah, that's the note I have. I really like, generally the notes I like, and all the denomination of the Bhutan notes, they all start with A, and of course there is a replacement note start with Z or ZEC. Now that one, I look at the market price, it's still relatively really expensive to get notes that are replacement note. For this one, they're still very hot. They are now fetching around 600 US dollars for a set. Really, really jump price. A set of these probably can get 40 US dollars for a normal general circulation. For a replacement, it's jumped to 600 US dollars for a set. It's utter ridiculous price if you ask me. But anyway, if you are lucky enough to get it, congratulations, and hope the price value remains that high. Again, Bhutan notes are really rare. It's not that you see it every day. For Bhutan notes, even for me, And if you are thinking of going holiday in Bhutan, be aware that not everybody can get into Bhutan. It is one of the most strict countries to enter to maintain a country's image, especially the way of life. That's what creates their economy. Is the continuation of their way of life makes them happy. Any external intervention or introduction into their way of life would detrimental their happiness. So that is why Bhutan, you don't have tourism industry like Japan or China or France. You go, oh, they have got tour agencies they have and blah blah blah. You can go there. Or even you're a backpacker trying to go there independently, you have to go through I believe so. You have to go through a lot of paperwork, and chances are you getting into their country is quite relatively okay, I would say, but they're really expensive. Hotel prices and so forth, they are really expensive because the supply for tourism is artificially keeping it small. All right, that is why you don't see other people talking about, oh, I went on holiday in Bhutan, blah blah blah, and so for compared to those people say that I've been to holiday to Japan, I've been on holiday to Hawaii, I've been on holiday to New York, which sometimes I would say that I got bored hearing it. Uh, yeah, bored hearing it. But you never hear people say, I went holiday in Bhutan. You know, Bhutan is one of those exotic countries and really rare. And by translation from that uh, language, it's really, really difficult to find those notes out there. Where you can just say, I want to start collecting Bhutan banknotes. It's really difficult. Normally, the closer to that country, the easier to find. So if you will go to India, which is their main communique, entrance to Bhutan and exit through Bhutan is via India. So a lot of Indians probably in India you might find their currencies. To them, there's especially like near Bangladesh or near in what's it call it? Bombay. Calcutta? If you're near the Calcutta, they might have currency from Bhutan quite relatively plenty. But beyond that point, you're saying Singapore, you're saying Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur, you're talking about in Tokyo, looking for banknotes of Bhutan. Forget it. It's really difficult unless it's bought it from a dealer that specifically went and sourced out all these bags, exotic banknotes and bring it to you, which they're able to, make the price high. No, I already paid this one very exorbitant price than the face value. Face value is around 150 more or less, or this 1,600 nungro is about 150 to 160. I would say 150, roughly in the ballpark. 150 ringgit. I'm already paying it more than 200. I already paid 260 actually. So the profit margin is really high. If you buy directly from the face value, it's really really high. But of course, I understand my supplier, the dealer that I deal with. He didn't went to Bhutan or India to buy it. He bought it from another dealer, okay, who got it from India, transported it here, and is selling it at a markup price. Another dealer is selling it to me in another sense of a markup price. So the more middlemen that it pass through, the more the percentage of increase of the price of the value of the note. Because they got to eat, they got to make some profit. Luckily, the dealer is able to make me a good offer. If you are a regular person that deals with a regular dealer, the dealer somewhere somehow will give you a very good, generous price. So I always tell, if you're a collector, if you're a committee of the flea market, on your local coin shop or banknote shops over there, or even the money exchange, the banks, they are your best friends actually for numismatic collectors. Go to them, make them a regular. You keep changing them things and so forth, finding wonders and eventually they'll help you. And eventually, especially money exchanges, which they deal with foreign currency, they might help you get the notes that are already outdated. There are sometimes money exchange will get people exchanging notes saying that these notes are old, they cannot accept it because it's already discontinued to be a circulating or legal tender. Sometimes if you have a local money exchange know who you are, then they might consider changing it at face value. You know, sometimes the dealer might say, I got a person that willing to collect old banknotes, obsolete banknotes to them, no longer legal tender banknotes. They might change with that customer, and then they will keep it. And then if you come to them regularly, they know they'll come to you. You went to them or go to them regularly. They'll just sell it to you at the price what they exchange. So you're paying a face value plus a markup for the money exchanger, probably 10%, 15%, and to me it's a very good price actually. You're paying at the face value plus a little bit profit. If you buy at the collectors or at the fair, the market price will go up much higher, probably 30, 40%, because you know that's the trade. That's the trade. So money exchange do have advantage and do have a disadvantage. But make it as a regular you as a regular person, then they will help you. And then if your money exchanger shops, you know, they're quite established, they'll help you if you are being regular. And then you go to coin shops, numismatic shops, if you have it in your region, or you have a flea market that actually had deals banknotes during the weekend. Try visit them. I do have found one or few of them. I just visit them. Even I didn't buy anything because they don't have anything I wanted, but they do know what I'm looking for. Something new, something unique, and they'll try to source it out and find it. And they always help me say, "Hey, I got a new things today. Would you like to have a look? Probably you are looking for this kind of." Sometimes they do that to me, being the first client or first customer looking into those notes. Sometimes they reserve those notes before they sell it to the market. They'll let you see whether you want it or not. Being the first customer, so loyalties, frequently visiting them, buying their from their shop, do help. They will help you look for your collection because they want that dynamic interaction of a long-term business. So that is one of the ballpark they can do, and that's how I got this one really cheap from the regular market and so forth. So that is all for today that I've got new notes. Again, I will continue to do my short video clips on my other collections. I probably will continue back to Saudi. I still have a couple of Saudis, and then we'll probably go into the next Arab countries. Once I've settled the Arab countries, I'll move into Africa. So if you're thinking, why am I every day posting Arab countries banknotes? I'm actually going through my collection by volumes, by continent, so and by country. Once I've done it all from continent for in the region of Asia, Middle East, I'll go into Africa. Then once I've done Africa, probably I might go to Europe. It's like a journey to the world and so forth. I will see how. But after going, showing you guys my collection for Africa, I'm not too sure which continent should go. Probably Caribbean, or probably in South America, or probably in North America, or in Europe. I'm not too sure about it yet. But I'm just going through all my collection bit by bit, day by day, recording it and presenting it to the world, to you guys, to inspire you, and also to keep the record so that I won't forget my collection, what I have and what they are. So thank you very much for your time. So if you like to give a comment or review, just leave it in the comments. Or any critics, just leave it in. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Like. If you want to see a future videos, do subscribe. I do have every day make a short reels at least once a day. Only do a video or like this long video when I have something new arrive to my collection, new collections. I will just do this long video. If not, I'll just do a regular short clip video, 1 minute every day. So that is all for me today. Thank you very much and hope to see you real soon.